Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please, we're going to call the meeting to order. Please stand and help us by opening with a Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here tonight. I appreciate it very much. As you know, it's our tradition that we start by asking people if they'd like to have the opportunity to address the city council and the city of Cold Spring as a whole, if they'd like to have a chance to address us. So I'm going to ask, is there anyone that would like to have a few minutes to address the city of Cold Spring? Okay, while you think about it, I'd like to throw something out. If you remember back to our last meeting, there was a young gentleman that stood up and had a comment with regards to traffic and signage and some of that kind of stuff. And as is our tradition, what the council said is, staff, would you take a look at it and get back to us? So what I'm going to do right now, while you're still thinking about it, is, staff, now that you've had a chance to go out and take a look at it, would you like to report back anything?
Yes, just that Ron Fuchs, I talked to him and he said he got the sign ordered, did the locates, it's staked, and he's putting it up this week. It's a no through street sign at the location that the resident asked for.
Oh, excellent. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. And thank Ron and his people for what they've done too. So, again, if you, please.
I'm Dwayne Craig here on behalf of the Cold Spring Area Baseball. I just want to thank the city again for all their cooperation and stuff with the state tournament over the past 3 weeks. Big thank you to Pete Weber again for all his help and stuff throughout the renovation project and stuff. But nothing but kudos from a lot of people that came to town and stuff like that on the ballpark itself and the event. So again, thank you to the citizens of Cold Spring and the community for helping out with the event. Things that went real well. So.
Excellent.
Thanks, Dwayne.
Thanks, Dwayne. And again, can I paraphrase? I think I heard you say that the tournament, we don't like the result necessarily, but the tournament itself
Yes.
went very nicely?
Yes, correct.
And you heard some positive comments?
Lots of positive comments.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Anyone else? Okay, here, assuming that there is no one else? Okay, we're going to move on then to item number 3 of the agenda. We're going to ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Jamie, thank you.
Second.
Dave, thank you. Motion and a second discussion, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Passes unanimously. Excellent. Item number 4, the consent agenda. Chris?
Minutes from August 25, 2015. Recommendation is to approve the minutes of the August 25, 2015 City Council meeting as presented. B, authorized advertisement for sale of 2000 Subaru Forester. Recommendation to authorize the advertisement for the sale of a forfeited 2000 Subaru Forester by sealed bids. C, approval of FMLA leave. Recommendation to approve FMLA leave for Angie Mueller for up to 6 weeks, beginning September 3rd, 2015.
Council, any questions about that? Otherwise, can I get a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion.
Dave, thank you.
I'll second.
Jan, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. Passes unanimously. Item number 5, Smokey, item number 5, Fire Department report. Chief Dan Weber, please.
I guess there's a lot of people that tell me that, so.
Oh, do I have to stop saying that?
No, you can say it all the time, that's fine.
Smokey, Smokey, Smokey.
There you go. Do you want me to read the recommendation, or how?
Well, there are
Just go
several,
one.
there are several things that you, the fire department, have asked us to approve.
Right.
Do you feel more comfortable reading them yourself, or would you rather have Chris read them for us, and you just tell us a story?
I'll just tell the story, thanks.
Okay? So you want Chris to read them for us? Perfect.
Okay, first one is a fire department increase in chief's salary. And the recommendation is to approve an increase to the fire chief's salary from $3,500 to $4,000 per year, effective 12/1 of 2014.
Council, any questions?
How come so far back?
Their pay year is December 1 to December 1, and so it's mostly 2015, and it was in the 2015 budget. This is just the first time it's come up for approval.
And is this something that the council would normally have acted on first? Or is this something that we wait for the fire department to bring to us before we start? Wait for the fire
Yeah.
department?
Yeah.
Okay,
Usually wait for it sometime during the year, and
okay.
it's already September, so sorry.
It was part of the budget process last year,
Last
so it was
year,
in the
yeah.
budget for this year, so it's just a formality
Right
before
around
the.
this time, I
Yeah.
Okay,
usually try to ask.
okay, perfect. Then I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll
Jamie?
second.
Jan? We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you, passes unanimously.
Okay, next one is increase to fire department relief contribution. Recommendation is to approve an increase in the city's annual contribution to the Fire Department Relief Association Retirement Fund from $16,100 to $16,700, effective for the contribution made in 2015.
Council, questions?
Nope, do we have a script on this? You wanna fill us in on what this is, or?
What it is, it's a city contribution and also the townships contributing to it, and it goes into our relief. Every other year I try to ask for an increase to it. This year it's 600. Taxpayer from all over that we cover for townships that contribute to it, so.
And Dan, the Relief Association, put that in, you don't use those terms, but tell us what that is.
Oh, boy. How long do we have? No. It's money that's been accumulated over the years that, when you've been on the department, minimum of 5 years, you accrue so much every year after that, and after 20, for each year of service, and after 20 years, you are fully vested.
Okay, so it's like a pension.
Right.
Okay.
And, at the age of, I think you can take it out of, you get,
50.
once you've retired, you'll get a payout, and then put it into, an account, a savings account, or a IRA or something, and then I think at 55 is when you don't get.
50. You're
50?
eligible at 50. age
50, yeah.
Then I think you can't take it
So
out.
this is one of the few perks that we are able to provide to the
Yes.
firefighters because of the service that they provide to the city.
Right.
Okay, perfect. Council, thank you. Council, any other questions? Otherwise, I need a motion, please.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Jan.
Second.
Jamie, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you.
Third one is to accept the resignation of firefighter Tim Leeser. And recommendation to accept the resignation of firefighter Tim Leeser effective September 30, 2015, and thank him for his dedicated service.
Timmy's been on the department 23 years, maybe right after you and right before me.
Yeah, it was about almost a year after
Yep.
me.
He got a job out of state, and he's moving, he'll be working out there, so. He was also our secretary for 22 out of 23 years, our fire department secretary, so. Thank him for his 23 years of service and helping out the city of Cold Spring and the townships.
Excellent. Thank you. Council, any questions? Otherwise, I need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
Dave, thank you.
I'll second.
Jan, thank you. Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. Thank you, Dan. And thank you, Tim, very much for your 23 years of service to the city of Cold Spring. Thank you. We do appreciate it.
23 plus.
23 plus?
Yep. It was 23 in July, I think, of this year, so.
Okay. Thank you, Tim.
The next one is, I guess, just a follow-up to what Dan already mentioned, that Tim was also the secretary, so this is his replacement. Fire and Rescue Department officer approval. Recommendation to approve the Cold Spring Fire and Rescue Department's recommendation to appoint Adam Lubbers as secretary effective October 1, 2015.
Council, any questions? Dan, anything you have to tell us about it?
We had our monthly meeting last week, and, went through the election process and asked if anybody would take the position, and Adam said he would, so we had a vote and stuff on it and got him approved on that, and then needs to get a council approval. And then now, with doing that right now, then Timmy can help him out for this month yet with the paperwork that needs to be done. Every call that we have, we write down who's there and who's not, and then that's the part that gets taken at the end of the year to Chris for us to be
Okay.
paid, so.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Council, we need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
Jamie, thank you.
Second.
Dave, thank you. I have a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? I tried to short circuit the system, but I didn't do it, so thank you. Letter E, please.
Lastly, 2015 Firefest update and request for council endorsement for Firefest in 2016. Recommendation to endorse the Fire Department Relief Association's annual Firefest, provided that the event is funded through the association's general fund.
Council questions?
How much do you think?
Update?
I'm gonna let Dwayne talk about this.
Yeah.
Our budget, as a membership approval, we've put our budget at $450,000, which was the same as what we had last year. So we've just kept it at that same amount for this upcoming year as well. So we're asking for approval of that amount for the 2016 year.
And how was 2015?
The numbers were down a little bit. Our attendance was about 80, or I should say our tickets sold was about 8320. So it's a little short of our 10,000 goal that we had hoped for and things. Still well attended. We kind of had a nice late push on tickets towards the end and things. We are still working through the final numbers and stuff and invoices and paying bills and stuff like that yet. But I would tell you, I mean, we'll certainly be down from last year as far as our final is concerned. But still a very successful year as far as, you know, the event stuff itself, and a lot of nice participation again from our sponsorships. I think we're at about 150, I think this year. I think somewhere at 150,000 as far as sponsorships were concerned. So we had a nice, strong support from the local and surrounding communities as far as sponsorships are concerned, as well as again a lot of the local nonprofit organizations that helped us, as far as the local fire departments and a lot of the local nonprofits as well again. So in that regards, again, it was just a very well, you know, a very nice event that went really well again.
Dwayne, I have two quick questions. First one, is the association taking on a lot of risk by setting the budget at 450, or are you pretty confident that you're going to be able to generate more than 450 in receipts, so you're going to be okay?
We feel confident. I mean, you know, we're looking at the acts and stuff like that. It becomes very dependent upon the acts and stuff like that. We certainly try to, we're just setting that budget. We haven't usually used that full amount typically every year. We just like to have the ability. Certainly, it's always a little bit, you know, when you get into that kind of amount, but we feel very confident that as long as we can keep selling our tickets and our sponsorships the way we have to reach our goals, we should be fine.
Okay, thank you. And then the second question, you've referenced several times that the event basically couldn't happen without the sponsorship. Is there any, in a very short period of time, is there any plug that you need to make to the people that might be watching this so that they can begin thinking about being a sponsor for next year?
So we'll always take a plug. Thank you, Bob, for that. Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, we're always, I mean, again, the event has gotten a lot of popularity. Again, we hear a lot of good things about it. So yes, if any local organization or business would like to take advantage of, we always want to have the event be, you know, use the event so they can promote their businesses and stuff as well. So we wanted to make it a nice event for the community as a whole. So we want people to use the event to promote their business as well as the local community and things as well. So yes, start thinking about it. We'll be coming out with something by the end of the year, first part of next year. as far as sponsorships and stuff are concerned with the different packages and programs. So just keep your eyes and ears open, and we will be advertising for it, and we would certainly greatly appreciate anybody's support for the event.
Excellent.
It
Dan?
wouldn't be possible to have it without the brewery shutting down their buildings for the whole weekend to take, to be able to have the concert there. That's very generous of them.
And do you think we should look over at Lois and tell them, and tell them,
Thank you, Cold Spring Brewery, for being able, shutting down the weekend for us and letting us being able to use your land and stuff for the Fire Fest.
yes, thank you very much. We couldn't do it without you, and this is a big thing for the city of Cold Spring and the fire department, so thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the council, 5E, we need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
Jamie, thank you. A second. Jan,
I'll second.
thank you. Motion and a second. Do any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. We passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, thank you. And appreciate it.
Good job, guys.
Now Dwayne can go back and do hose testing.
Oh, that.
All right, we're now on item number 6 of our agenda. If you would, please.
Should we have John come up so everybody can see who we're talking about?
Is John here tonight?
John is here.
John,
Do you
if you
wanna-
would, please.
So this is John Stevie, and maybe, I don't know, somebody from the hiring committee want to talk a little bit about it, or do you want me to, or
Sure, I can.
go for it?
So, we interviewed several candidates, several qualified candidates. We came down to the decision to pick John. He has just under a decade of public works experience, directing people. He's done everything a public works manager could do, including streets, parks, wastewater, water. He's a very well-rounded, very diverse guy. He was a pleasure to interview. Certainly got along with the team out there, as I understand it. And it was a pleasure. Like I said, it was just a pleasure to meet him, and he did very, very well in the interview. And do you want to add anything to that?
Not really. No, he was.
Comes with the Class B license, right?
For CDL, yeah.
Class B license, yes. And then wastewater,
C and water and C and wastewater.
seawater.
But with the ability to test up, I think as soon as employment starts, so.
Yep, yep. So
Excellent.
everything that we were looking for, we found.
Yes.
Excellent. Isn't that exciting?
Yep. It is.
Did-
Wonderful.
Did you all get a chance to review the letter that I had in your packets, the offer of employment? And did anybody have any questions or concerns with that?
Nothing?
Nope.
All right, Chris,
Okay.
if you would, please.
Okay. Then, number 6 is to approve offer of employment for Public Works Director. Recommendation to accept the recommendation of the hiring committee for the Public Works Director position and approve the offer of employment to John Stevie according to the terms as stated in the offer of employment dated September 8, 2015, contingent on passing a physical examination, a drug test, and a background check.
Council, any questions? Hearing none, then I need a motion, please.
I'll make that motion.
Dave, thank you. A second?
I'll second it.
Jamie, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Passes 4-1.
Can I just get a point of clarification? So, once we get back the physical, the drug test, the background check, and if everything checks out, and John signs the letter and we sign the letter, he's good to go, right? Don't need to come back for anything?
No, I don't
I'm only
think so.
clarifying so we
Yep.
don't have,
Exactly,
issues.
exactly, and I appreciate that.
Okay.
Because that is one of the things that I was making certain of earlier, is that all of the things that we had scheduled to do, all the backgrounds, all of those things have to be done before we finish and accept the offer. So as long as you get all of those things in place, I think we're ready.
okay? Sounds good. Welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Welcome.
All right, now here's your first chance. What would you like to say?
thank you for allowing me this opportunity. I think it's gonna be a good move, good step up for me, and I'm excited for the adventure.
Excellent. Is there anything that the people of Cold Spring need to know?
Not really, I guess. If I see you out on the streets, I'm probably gonna talk to you. I'm a pretty friendly person. I like to talk to people, and one of my main goals is to know the people I'm working with, and I'll make an effort to make that happen. So,
Perfect. Wonderful. And again, thank you and welcome.
thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Excuse me. We're on number 7 of the agenda, discuss home on roundabout. Now, if you remember what that's all about, at our last meeting, we were talking about the fact that Stearns County stepped forward and said, there's this extra house, and should we leave it there or should we take it down? Because if we take it down, we get nothing for it. If we leave it there remains the possibility that the house could be sold for something. And if it's sold for something, the half of that would be to the city's benefit to reducing the cost of the construction. So we had a conversation, and we said we wanted to give some more time to consider it. So, Chris, what have I missed on that point?
Just that the planning commission discussed this at their last meeting, and Dave or Jan, would you want to report what happened at that?
You know, we discussed, trying to think.
It
what
was
we
the
did.
night of that busy
Oh,
meeting.
that busy meeting, yeah. I guess we approved the
We recommended it.
recommendation, yes.
Yep.
3 to 1.
3-1 vote,
Yeah,
yeah,
3-1 vote.
to sell it. Or, I mean, to keep it and
To
sell
keep it.
Keep it
Sell
and
Sell it.
sell it.
Yeah.
Okay.
To have the county
The county to
maintain
sell
the
it,
house and
correct?
sell the property.
Yes, the county would sell it.
Yes,
and-
we
and-
wouldn't do that.
That's correct. The county
Yeah.
would sell it, and half the proceeds would be credited to
Mhm.
our share of the construction of that project.
Yep.
So the planning commission voted in favor of the recommendation to keep the house on
Yes.
its foundation.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so what's the wish, or what's the will of the council?
What's the risk if it doesn't sell?
And again, that is a possibility, but I don't know that there's a real risk. Because with the way I understood the letter from Jody, the county engineer, the way I understood the letter, she said, even if we can only sell it for, and then she had what I considered a relatively lowball number. So even if, there is a number at which that house will sell. I don't know what that number is, but there is a number. And then whatever that it sells for, the city benefits by half of that. So what if it doesn't sell? At what number?
Yeah.
Because even if it's $10, which is unlikely, the lot would be worth more than that. But even if it's $10, it will sell for some amount.
I'm for the house going, from the last meeting.
Okay?
So you guys have to discuss it from there.
Other questions, other concerns?
The house going as in tear it down or
Take it
sell
off,
it?
take it off its foundation.
Yes. Because it's gonna give us problems, not this year, not next year, but it's going to give us problems, it's just gonna cost us more money. I mean, that's just me.
Okay?
So
If I
I'm
can,
for the house going, but.
if I
that's-
can I push you a little bit on that?
Yeah.
What do you mean by, it's going to cost us more in the long run?
The house, like, even with the realtor saying for $50,000 is still the amount of money that house is going to give us grief with, how close it sits to the road. Whoever buys it, we're going to have constant complaining about that road from those people who buy it, because that's the nature of the beast. It's going to be in a way for all the school buses that go around there, for the school, because they're going to have, and I drove around there, and I talked to a few of the school bus people, they have to stick their neck out to make that turn. So to me, it's going to be in the way for visibility too, and I'm looking at safety. Because if that house has little kids, and the little kids 2-3 years old are just ready to run, they'll run into that road really fast because it's so close. So I'm looking at the safety, visibility, and that, so.
Okay. Amy?
I'm with Fran on the visibility. I'm also concerned about, my understanding was that if they have to bury it around the house, the utilities and stuff, it's a little more expensive than having just to go as the bird flies across the lot if we tear the house down. Is that accurate?
It would be simpler for the utilities, that's not a cost that we have to bear.
Okay.
They have to bear that because they're currently in the right of way and we're asking them to move.
Okay.
So that's a cost they have to bear, but it does simplify through there. I had talked to the county about making sure that we would get a utility easement through there.
Okay.
The typical easement's about 10 feet, which would put us fairly close to the house with the edge of that easement.
Okay. So for simplicity's sake, tearing it down is easier, not,
Yes.
okay. My other concern is the safety aspect of how close that house is to that roadway. And I don't know that the speeds are gonna be 5 miles an hour on these like it's recommended, or 10 or whatever. I think it's gonna be 20 or 30 on there. I kind of agree with Fran that I think it's gonna be a hindrance, even if it turns into a rental property or whatever it turns into. I just think if we have the opportunity to tear it down, tear it down.
Anything else, Dave, Jen?
I say sell it.
Yeah, I guess that was my thought, to leave the house there and recoup whatever we can,
Yeah.
keep the property on the tax roll. It's 20-some feet off the actual roadway, which
Yes,
is more than
20,
some other houses
24.
are in town already. So,
Okay. With where the house is located as compared to the easements and all of that kind of stuff, do we have to do any variances for that house, or would there need to be anything? I mean, I know we have normal setbacks, front setbacks, side setbacks. Would this, do we have to grant variances in order to be able to do this?
Well, I think in what Jody was saying too, is we can just grandfather this one in as part of accepting it. The variances would come in the future if they want, maybe, and maybe not, but that if they want to add on closer to the road than is allowed or something like that, and that's something that, you know, they would certainly have an argument to come back and say, well, you know, you accepted this house and now I'm kind of stuck, I can't do this or that with it, but I think right now you could just go ahead and grandfather it in as is. If you decide to keep it.
Is that kind of what you were talking about with regards to that, at some time in the future, it's gonna come back and
And it's gonna cost us more to
something?
get rid of it.
Okay, did you say somebody out here had it?
Yeah, she did.
I just have a question.
Okay,
Is it a possibility to sell the house to be moved?
Yeah, that'd be
You know,
fine.
they have companies that come
yeah,
and buy the house and then move it off of the property. Is that a possibility?
I think Brian has an answer.
oh, I'm sorry.
Is that why you have your hand up?
Brian?
I
Is that what
think,
this means?
yes.
Okay,
I think if the county has the opportunity to sell it and move it, they will. My guess is on that particular house, it's fairly large, and I think when you start getting into the two-story homes, the cost of moving power lines, et cetera, starts to outweigh what it's worth, and it's easier, it's more economical to just tear it down. Salvage what you can and tear it down.
okay.
So I think they try to do that as a way to recoup money whenever they can.
Yep, okay. Please?
Is that gonna, the house when the semis with the roundabout, they're gonna have to stick their nose out to go around, you know, even to come up down that road a little bit?
So are you saying if they
I
came
think
up
it's a-
north on
I think
Fifth?
it's a safety issue, just, you know, just going out that far, you know, to look around that house. That's my personal opinion of it, but.
Ryan, can you address that at all, please?
The roundabout will function how it needs to if the house is there or not.
Okay.
So I think it's more, you know, that, it will function how it needs to.
Okay.
Can I ask 2 more questions?
If you would.
First one is, if they buy it for 50,000, does that mean they're taxed on 50,000, or they taxed on the market value that the house is, the taxable value?
I would sure think they would be taxed on the market value.
they're taxed on market
Could they,
value.
could they
Sale,
be,
market value is determined on value 2 years, sale value is
Yep.
2 years prior, so it would, that
So
sale
if-
price of 50 wouldn't affect it for a while.
would they have an argument to say, hey, I'm buying a house for X reasons at 50, my market value of my house is not worth whatever this house is worth, it's worth much lower?
They have to come to that property
Property,
assessment
okay.
meeting.
Second question, are there gonna be any assessments to this house with that roundabout going right through their front yard like this?
No, we're not assessing anybody for the roundabout,
Anybody have
right?
a roundabout?
Or,
It would maybe change because there is water going through there. Water and sewer that they would, so that's something I'd really look at, that possibility. There could be some assessments through there.
Well, and Brian, if I can take that one step further, last year when we redid 50, did we not reserve, we started the project intentionally further north because we knew that this was a possibility. Did we reserve any possibility of assessments because of where we stopped the project or?
Yeah, we did stop it at the south line of Fourth for that reason, because we were gonna come far enough back. And this, I believe, this property was assessed, or a portion of that property was assessed, the other portion wasn't.
Okay,
And the idea would have been to assess it with this new project.
okay,
But if it, if the property goes away, then we don't obviously assess it.
get the assessment. Okay. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yeah,
Got another one?
got another one.
Good.
So the driveway that's coming off the property now is right at the tail end of the roundabout, right? So as people come around the corner, these people only have one way to enter, and that's to make a left, or, I'm sorry, to make a right.
Okay, wait, let's see,
Yep.
where's he talking about, where's the driveway?
So the way this median comes out, they won't be able to swing out here and make a left,
This,
will they?
this is
Looking
just
over
a
here,
sidewalk,
let's
I
see the
think.
driveway.
No, this right here.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
just
okay,
a sidewalk.
that's just the walkway, okay.
Okay.
So this is their driveway that goes
That's their
here and goes.
driveway.
Their driveway goes into an alley.
And the alley dead ends at that end. This would be this is the exit for the alley.
So they can try and get out on the roundabout here.
Yes.
Okay. So there's an opening here, there's an opening here, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's not
Gotcha.
necessarily commonplace to put the alley in the middle of the roundabout, but that's the
Okay.
best place it fit. It's not a lot of traffic in it, so shouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
So how bad was the house stripped already? In the inside, appliances all gone, cabinets all gone?
The county has told them that they can't remove any of those things until this decision is made.
Okay.
Anybody have any more questions?
Nope.
Anybody, okay, please?
I worked on that house a couple years back, and the addition of the floor plan, the master bedroom was in the top corner right off that sidewalk. I guess I'd be real concerned about what traffic could do in icy situations. I mean, if it goes off the road, it's 13 feet and you're hitting the house. Does the city want that kind of liability?
And I understand your question, but I'm also wondering if that is even a real question, because if we use prudent building standards and all that kind of stuff, I don't know if the city has liability. But Frank is sitting to your left, and I'm not sure how that would look in the paper if this was a real consideration, and we knew this was a real consideration, and we acted accordingly. So I think that's a valid point. What do you want to do? I need to have a motion, because if I understood Jody's office correctly, they want a decision from the city, and they wanted it yesterday.
I make a motion that the house goes.
Okay, we have a motion that the house goes. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, I want to clarify. The motion is that the house leaves its foundation, it goes. So if you vote in favor of the motion, you're voting in favor of the house leaving. All right, we're going to call the question. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
It passes 3-2. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for that. Item number 8 of the agenda, water wastewater report. Tanya, your turn. And thank you.
Thank you.
How do you want to handle it? You want to do all the reading, or do you want Chris to do the reading?
Because we'll read it? Sure. Letter A is to approve rebuilding of 2 lift station pumps. Recommendation, to approve rebuilding 2 20-horsepower pumps at lift station number 1, which is at Frogtown, at a price of $7,376 from W.W. Getch, to be paid for out of equipment repairs and upkeep in the wastewater budget.
Council, any questions?
Nope, let's do it.
Tanya, any comments? Any
No,
comments?
it's just some general maintenance we need to get done. That's a very critical station we have out there, and these pumps have been in there since 1990, so this is actually a really good deal. If it's new, they'd probably be $15,000 to $20,000, so I
Okay,
feel it's very worthy of it.
perfect. Thank you. All right, council, I need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
Jamie, thank you.
Second.
Dave, second, thank you. Motion and a second. Questions, comments, discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. 8B, please.
Can I
Okay, 8A, the motion was Jamie and then Dave. Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for asking.
Okay, approve processor repair. Recommendation to approve the repair of a processor for the SCADA system at the treatment plant at a cost of $2,652 from In Control to be paid for out of equipment repairs and upkeep in the wastewater budget.
Council, any questions?
Let's do it. That's the motion. I made the motion and before too. When I said let's do it, that was my motion.
Oh, that was your motion?
But that's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
No, that's
Fran
fine.
made the motion. Do I have a second?
No.
I'll second.
Jamie, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? And before you say anything, Tanya, would you like to make any comments?
Nope, just that you guys had approved at the last meeting, a brand new one, which was about $6,000, and we're gonna repair this one now. We have 8 of them at the treatment plant and feel this one would be worthy to have on the shelf in case of another failure, so.
Okay, thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. 8C,
Approve roof replacement. Recommendation to approve replacing the roof of the prelim building at a cost of $21,970 from McDowell Company to be paid for out of building and grounds maintenance in the wastewater budget.
Are they gonna tear the old roof off or just do
Yes.
that? Or go over the old roof?
Nope, they'll tear off. It's a, rubber roof membrane. They'll take all the rocks off, everything, the new flashing around the sides, everything. In 2013, we actually had one of the roofs, a different one replaced. This is just another one, and we'll have one more in years to come that's gonna need to get replaced. It's getting a lot of tenting and it's starting to leak on the sides. We did some minor repairs, but it's time.
The substructure is good?
Yep.
Or is that in on this too, substructure repair?
Nope, they're good. It's all good.
It all's
They
all
came
good.
out and kinda checked it all out.
All right, we're gonna do that one too.
okay, we have a motion. Thanks, Fran. Do we have a second?
One question.
Oh, wait, we
Oh,
have a motion.
For the
Wait,
uneducated. or the-
wait, I have a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Dave, thank you. Okay, comments, questions?
For the uneducated who not familiar with the building, what is the prelim building?
That's where the wastewater first comes in from the lift stations.
Okay.
It's grit removal, debris removal.
Perfect.
Then I have a question as well. Some time ago, you had to do those outside tanks and they had the really thick rubber membranes and you recycled it all and now, is there anything like that with this? Or is this,
No.
they just take it all away and it's
No,
gone?
That was, that really wasn't rubber, that was more of a plastic. This is just a rubber that's, the sun has beat on it a lot. You got the rocks over the top, but it's junk at this point.
Okay,
There's
so
no
they'll just
recycling.
dispose of everything. We
Yeah.
have, we
Yep,
don't have to worry
recycle
about
what
any
they
of that?
can.
All right, perfect.
So Tanya, how long will the city stink when that roof is on?
Oh, no, we don't stink.
Thank you, I agree. We
Yeah,
don't.
no.
Any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, we're calling the question. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. 8C passes unanimously. Ms. Tanya, thank you.
Thank you.
And if you want to stay up there and keep him company, you
I asked
can.
somebody, he said no.
All right, we're on item number 9 of the agenda. Mr. Bryan.
Mr. Mayor and Council, just a couple of quick updates. The 2015 capital improvements, 14th and 2nd, are both open to traffic.
Wait, say that again.
14th Avenue and 2nd Avenue are both open to traffic.
Wow.
Looks nice,
Yes.
looks nice.
Have we had any comments so far? Has anybody heard anything?
Yes, yeah, I've heard that.
And
Nice.
people are approving of it? Thank you. Thank you, everybody. All right, excellent. Okay, thank you.
All right, moving on, Casad 2 Red River Avenue, just an update that the next week at the Planning Commission meeting, they'll be discussing discussing the project as was recommended by the council at the last meeting. So, we'll come with updates to your meeting in 2 weeks. And we're hoping that, at the Planning Commission level and at the council level, we can make a final decision come the end of your next meeting, the end of September. Just because we're starting to get up against the deadlines for getting plans prepared.
Questions? Excellent, thank you.
Great, moving on, stormwater grant, I did have some plans attached to your, to my memo. We're gonna scrap that for the time being. I made some calls the end of last week and talked with, I wasn't able to talk with the soil and water folks at the end of last week, but Wayne was on vacation. Looking at the bidding climate right now and when we would be able to bid it, when we would be able to approve it, Talking with some contractors, one of them said, I haven't looked at a new project in a month and a half. The zoning consensus was I can maybe get you a day or two in October or November to work on it. At which point, we don't wanna be tearing up the streets, tearing up boulevards, putting in curb, putting in bituminous. It's just the wrong time of year. The prices, another contractor had said, pretty much you're gonna get people who throw a big number at it hoping it sticks. So we aren't gonna get a good value, which was all things I was kind of afraid of, but those conversations confirmed that. So the grant money is still there. What we're gonna plan on doing is bidding it sometime in the winter so that we can do it first thing in the spring. We're gonna have contractors that don't have anything to do or maybe need 2 weeks of fill-in work right away. We're gonna get a lot better prices, a lot more people bidding on it.
And the grant money will still be
Grant money will
there.
still be there.
All right.
So rather than bidding it now and getting bids that are unfavorable and having to bid again, we took the decision of we're just gonna bid it in the winter.
Okay, so we're just taking it off the table completely at this time, and in the springtime, you guys will bring it back at some point? Okay?
I'll bring it back probably somewhere December, January time. We'll get an approval on it, or sometime in the future here, we're gonna refine the plans just a little bit, bring it back, set a bid date at that point.
Excellent. Excellent. Questions, council?
No.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, moving on. The wetland delineation, the field portion is finished. Now they're working on, there's a couple portions to that. After they do the field work, they have to go and do there's a report that they have to do. That report has to go to the Corps of Engineers. It has to go to the local wetland board for approval. So all of those things are in process right now.
Council,
then-
questions? Thank you.
Once we know the extent of that wetland delineation is when we'll get out and do a couple more test borings at some locations that we figure will be promising for production wells. So this was an important step in getting to that point.
Thank you.
Lastly, if there's not anything else, wanted to just talk real quick about Main Street. At the last planning commission meeting, not the one at the long meeting, but the one before, we had talked about the Main Street project. And as we had talked before, that's a 2017 project, looking at, so basically the summer after next. But what that means is we need to start working on the design this winter, the feasibility report this winter, in preparation for, in the spring, early summer of next year, doing our improvement hearing, then working on the plans and specs, and then probably bidding it in January or so of 2017. What I'm looking for maybe tonight, and if you don't, or if you have any questions, feel free, and we had done this in a similar way with County Road 2, was to authorize Stantec and O'Malley Crone to go ahead with the feasibility report. Really, the work won't start until probably winter, probably once we have things wrapped up for the County Road 2 project. But what that does right now, it allows Dan Crone and his surveyors to go out and start taking the topographic survey of Main Street. And then we take that information and we'll look at it, see if it has all the topo that we need in preparation for the winter. That saves him from having to go out there and his guys from having to go with a snow shovel and shovel off every shot, shovel out the curb. It also gives us a better quality product. So really the work that would start in earnest right now is just the survey.
Main Street, Brian, is that 10th Avenue to the bridge?
No, it would be from Red River Avenue to the bridge.
To the bridge.
So about
So
4
the
blocks.
block up from, it won't be part of that project?
Which,
Past the dentist's office to the
no,
church?
no, that won't be part of the project. It
That
would
won't.
just be from
From
basically
Red
Winter's
River?
Hardware all the way to the bridge.
All right.
And it stops at this side of the bridge, or across the river, that side of the bridge?
It stops on the west side of the bridge, this side of the
Okay.
bridge. Because we won't be doing anything to the bridge. We'll just be working up to the bridge.
Okay, and
So-
that's a county road?
Portions of that are currently a county road.
Okay, but from Main Street, or from Red River Avenue to the bridge, is that a county road?
Approximately to the Oldsfield Hardware is county road.
Okay,
From there to the bridge is city road.
Okay.
Cross the bridge and everything else is city road.
So will that project be similar in nature to what we're doing this year, as far as the county is responsible for pieces of it and we're responsible for pieces of it?
It will be different in nature in that the county is looking to turn that road back. So essentially, they're saying we want to reimburse the city for a portion of this road, and it's now your road. So it will go from a county jurisdiction to a city jurisdiction.
But isn't that what we want to do so we can restrict truck traffic to that road then?
It does allow us to do, if it is straight city street, it allows us to do a lot more things. If it's a county road, you really can't restrict anything.
So if we do that, take the road back to us, or they give it back to us, now we can reroute so that those tractor trailers don't have to make that turn anymore on
Yes,
there.
we could do that. Yep.
All right?
And they also, the county they do give us a certain amount of money. I think I don't know the dollar figure, we haven't talked about that, but I think it had been talked before of kind of what it would take to mill and overlay or to repave that road, to put the new surface on it.
What
would
did
get
we
that.
ever do with that money the state was gonna give us when that was a detour? I'm just throwing it.
That I don't know.
Remember that? They were going to fix that up for us? After the detour was done, 23 was done?
I'd have
I
to,
think he was still in high
Fine.
school.
Okay.
not
but-
quite, but.
But we were, I know I sat on those meetings that
Sure.
they said they were going to fix that up. I'm just going by, can we go chase the state for this, that they're, you know,
It might be a possibility at this point. It's a long ways past. I'm guessing it would be difficult, but we can, with the person, I think we would start with the county, start with Jody and see what the county recalls about that.
during that detour, did the state put that traffic light in, or did the city, or did the county at that time?
I don't know who put that, it might have been part of the detour. Was the light new at the detour?
Right?
Okay, so it was probably funded partially with the state project then,
Okay.
would be my guess.
Well, I was just wondering, you know, we were
And I-
kind of like waiting for that to get fixed, and I know at those reconstruction meetings, when we did from the state bank up, we redid the Main Street, and they told us to leave that part alone because it's going to get messed up, and then they would fix it after the detour, so I
And
was
ma-
just wondering how long it took after that, because
Yeah.
they fixed up Rockville's too that way.
And I'm wondering if maybe that isn't, and I can talk with Jody, I wonder if that isn't some of the money maybe that the county has for us is from that.
Oh,
Just a thought, I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
just bring it up once,
Yeah,
you
I'll
know.
bring it up and see what she
They
says.
throw you out, then you, wrong question.
So Brian, if I heard you correctly, you want to start doing some of the topographical stuff right now, but you're then also going to be working with the planning commission with regards to what we're going to do with regards to Main Street. There's been some discussion with regards to a promenade and all, so you're going to have those kind of discussions with the planning commission?
Yeah, well, just like we did with County Road 2, we'll have those discussions with the planning commission. But this is really in order to hit our timelines and to not have to, if we do get early snow, to not have to deal with that. This is just to keep that process moving. Ultimately, we need the topographic survey no matter what, because we need to know what's there.
And this is a reimbursable project expense later on when we get to assessments and all of
Yes.
that kind of stuff?
Yes.
So you're looking for a motion to authorize,
To authorize for Stantec and O'Malley Crone to begin work on the feasibility report.
I'll make that motion.
Fran, thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Amy, thank you. Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hang on one second, because I have a question.
Okay.
Is there an order that we have to approve things? Again, this is topographical stuff in anticipation of the feasibility report. Do we do it that way, or do we have to get the feasibility report first and then we do? Is there anything, I mean, we're doing things in proper sequence, correct? Okay,
yep.
perfect. That's all I wanted to hear. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Brian, what else you got for us?
That's all I had, unless you have something else for me.
Any more questions for Brian? Jamie, here's your chance.
No.
Okay,
All right,
excellent.
thank you.
Brian, thank you. Item number 10.
It's a request for additional help in the administration department, and the recommendation is to authorize Public Works Administrative Assistant Megan Matt to work in the Administration Department for up to 12 hours per week, in addition to her hours spent at Public Works. She currently works about 8 hours a week, 2 mornings, for 4 hours each out at Public Works. And this is a request to have her work the other 3 mornings for us, while Angie's on her FMLA leave, because it's just down to Lois and I. When Angie comes back, Angie mostly works in the police department anyways, but by that time, Megan will be more acclimated to helping us in the office. So I guess the request is twofold: one, to have her start now, and the other one would be to keep her on until we fill the administrator position, and just to help us get caught up on projects and things like that. Since we're all out in the next 4 weeks, so probably mostly spent training her anyway, and then once we get her acclimated, it'd be nice to take advantage of that a little bit more.
Let's do it.
Okay, well, let's do it, meaning.
Let's make a motion.
Yeah, the motion, as it's in here, for up to 12 hours per week in addition to the 8 hours she works at Public Works. We have a motion, second?
Second.
Dave, thank you. Motion and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 11, list of bills and additions.
To review and accept payment of the accounts payable according to the list and supplemental list presented by city staff.
A motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
Jamie, thank you.
I'll second.
Jan, thank you. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain.
Fran abstains, and the reason you abstain is?
The guys wrote me out a check.
All right, thank you.
Don't sound so happy.
We can void that check easy
Yeah, do you want us to just skip that part from now on? All right, item number 12, general questions and comments from the council and the administrator. Jamie, what do you got?
I got nothing.
Dave?
Nothing.
Jan?
Nothing.
Fran?
Nothing.
I've got plenty, so we're gonna let Chris go first.
The only thing I have is, you probably noticed I got your packets out for Friday morning's meeting, so just bring them with, and you also have an email about it, but that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. I've got a couple of things. The first one, if you remember back at our last council meeting, we talked a little bit about the solar farm, and we asked staff if they would check into pursuing that at all. You have anything for us to report?
Not yet, I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Okay, perfect, thank you. The other thing that we have is there's been a lot of questions that came up again at the last council meeting with regards to businesses in the business district, leaving merchandise or having merchandise on the sidewalk. And my question just is, what's our procedure, what's our policy with regards to that?
I looked it up in the ordinance, and there is an ordinance against it. But like a lot of ordinances, there's common sense that has to come into play as well. So often if we try to enforce it on somebody who's taken it too far, it ends up being, well, why, then you have to enforce it on everybody. And unfortunately, then sometimes you have people who aren't really doing anything terribly wrong, but I guess I would like your direction. How would you like me to?
Should we have staff ignore it? Should we have staff enforce the ordinance? Or should we send it to like planning or somebody and have them take another look at it and get their recommendation?
Who is it affecting right now?
There's probably 3 businesses that,
Are saying something?
well, yes.
Okay. That's all I know.
Okay, so should we send it to planning for their input?
I would.
You okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
Would you
Okay.
please?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. All right. I have to read a couple of quick things. They'll be really fast. I have 3 minutes and I can do it faster than that. It seems that our city of Cold Spring and people take great pride. You can see it in how we care for our yards, how we help our family, friends, and neighbors, but mostly how we support and how we give support to each other. Our Springers just represented us well at the state amateur baseball tournament, and that was held at our own baseball park. The attendance was very high. Similarly with Hometown Pride Days and other summer festivals that we have celebrated. But in other parts of America, these things are not a given. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please keep taking pride in our community and keep helping and supporting each other. telling those around you that you appreciate them, especially our police officers and our first responders and firefighters. We have something very special here, so please, let's do all that we can to keep it that way and to continue to try to make it even better. And yes, that was a sales pitch. Okay, now I have one more quick sales pitch. And this was really fun, and I don't have any solution to this one, so I need your help, council. Today, I was invited to go to the monthly meeting for the Rocori Senior Center, and I have to tell you, what a group of wonderful people. They're working on several different projects that they're trying to develop to give the senior population another option for activities to pursue. One of the things that we discussed has to do with the Red River Avenue reconstruction project. We talked about finding a way to memorialize the avenue as it is right now. We know that this is the last school year in which Red River Avenue will look the way it does right now. Next year, it's going to be different. Before it changes, we should make an effort to save the memories of what Red River Avenue is. So whether it's by pictures or stories, poetry or songs, we should encourage people to collect and to save their best Red River Avenue memories. The Senior Center people even thought that we should collect those memories and display them in some way to say that the thoughts we were collecting and those memories and display them at the community showcase in the spring of 16 or maybe at City Hall. This may be a good idea. But what I'm asking the City Council is for permission to be able to talk to Cold Spring about this idea. Can we ask the people of Cold Spring to start putting together their memories of Red River Avenue? And then, if we ask the people, can we ask also if there's a person or group of people that would be willing to help organize some form of a project? So that we can begin doing something to gather these memories of Red River Avenue? Are you okay with that?
Does the senior center want to be the ones that, since this is their idea, do they want to be the ones
Well,
to spearhead this?
Well, and I asked that question, and they said, well, this is a board meeting, and while we might have, a lot of the members there said we might have some things that we would like to contribute, they would like to be able to talk to their members before they committed themselves to anything. But that is a possibility, and they had several other people that members of the Area Historical Society. We have people that live in the city that work at Stearns Historical Society. We have other sources that might also be good sources. So without committing anyone, I just wanted to know if that's something that we, the city, would like to try to facilitate, to try to encourage. Is that okay? Good. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you heard my plea, go out and write down, take pictures, whatever it is that you do. One of the ladies says, well, what if what I do is write music? I said, then write a song about it. What does Red River Avenue mean? It's going to change. Right now, what does it mean to you? And then as it changes, as it becomes something different, we have a chance to talk about what it means then. But for right now, what does it mean to you? So that's my sales pitch. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've come to the end of our agenda. I need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
Jamie, thank you. A second?
Second.
Dave, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. Unanimously passed. We're done. Thank you.